So you have probably heard that we are rolling in image compression into the system. For every managed WordPress site, we're going to offer you image compression. Now we're building a long-term solution, but in the interim, we're using a plugin that's connected to a SaaS. That plugin is focused on JPEGs and PNGs, and it connects up to Tiny PNG, which is normally a paid service, but we're covering the cost so you don't have to worry. Now, in that, you probably have a few questions, and I want to address those straight up. So the first question is, do you have to pay anything? And the answer is no. It's included in your monthly hosting fee. So you don't have any issue whatsoever. We're doing the image compression, we're using a service, and we're covering the cost so you don't have a single added cost to you. The second question is, does it do image compression on other things other than JPEGs and PNGs? And the answer for right now is no. It's just focused on JPEGs and PNGs. Now, these are the photos that most likely will need compression because you got them from your digital camera or you pull them down from online and they're really big. And then you realize, oh, that maybe you don't need such a big photo for the web. And so we do the work in the background. The third question is, well, this is likely for images going forward now that we're activating in your system. But what about your historical images? Images you've uploaded before, or if you're migrating the site to us, what about those images that come in after from the migration, after we've added this feature? There is a link, right, in the dashboard that lets you optimize. It's called bulk optimization. It lets you go back and optimize all your old images, right? So there's no problem there. Another question you might have is, well, what are we doing with your images, right? What are we doing with those original images? Are we looking at them, tagging them, scanning them, keeping them, using them for our own whatever? We're doing nothing, right? In fact, in this particular case, because we're using Tiny PNG, it's a service. We send the image over, we get it back, we save the new version that's smaller, we're good to go. We're not profiling, tagging, managing, storing, doing anything else with your image. It's yours. You might have another question, which is to say, why offer this as a feature at all? Right? What's the big deal? What's the need for image compression? And I'll tell you, the single biggest reason why the page weight or the performance of a web page has gotten worse over the last few years is photos, right? This is not a technology issue, right? It's the user-generated content that we put up there. And because we add images that are far larger than we need for the web, right? The resolution differences between those two are a big enough deal that you end up uploading very large images and you don't need that kind of weight. So you might upload a 5 megabyte image when all you need is a 78 KB image and all the pixels still look the same, right? You'll still look good. You're just giving it extra pixels it doesn't need. So that's why we're doing it. And of course you might ask, is this a forced thing? Do I have to use your image compression? No, you absolutely don't. You have the full ability to deactivate the plugin or to activate it, right? Either way, and it's your site, you're in control. Which gets us to maybe the last and core question, which is, what are you guys doing adding all these things to my site, right? Like, I heard that more plugins is bad, and you're adding a plugin to my site, and you're adding a plugin to my site. Like, well, what are you doing? Getting into my business. I understand that, right? Let me address it very clearly. First of all, it's never the quantity of plugins. It is always the quality of plugins. So our evaluation and assessment is consistently around the quality of the code that we're introducing and whether or not that code is going to have an impact on you. And in every case, you can always turn it off, take it off, do whatever, right? So you're still in total control of your site. The reason we're doing it is because we want to be proactive and solve the heavy lifting, the technical burdens of helping your site load up quickly. So in point of fact, you'll see several. Our entire compression and image compression feature is part of a larger performance suite of plugins. You'll see that we're doing some lazy loading on content for comments. So when you hit a web page, you normally don't see the bottom of the page and then all the comments below it. So we don't load those comments up front, right? Until you scroll to the comment area, then it loads it up. So it does an asynchronous pull of those comments later. And that's a part of performance because that time to first byte, that ability to see the website really quickly, the web page right away, that's based on how we decide to pull data in at the same time. And we're doing that for you. There's a whole bunch of JavaScript or other pieces related to your website that could be minified or compressed and ensure that you load up the site faster. But every one of those plugins that are part of our overall performance suite are available for you to turn on or turn off, which allows me to get to the last piece of this, which is while we may add these plugins, we will not be activating it for you. You still have the complete freedom to never activate it. And if you want to delete it, we are attempting to help you have the fastest website on the planet. And if you do activate those things, we hope to see, right? We expect that you'll see a much faster performing website. We did this on one of our client sites and we went from 5 seconds to less than 1 second. That's a nice uptick, but it's still totally in your control. We're doing the heavy lifting. We're analyzing all sorts of plugins. We're evaluating performance, and we have an entire place where we test these things out long before we ever bring it to you. But if it passes all our tests, when we bring it to you, you still have the final say, the final control on whether or not you want to activate it in your site. Thanks a lot.